This weekend, Spartan returns to West Virginia, and so do I. The West Virginia Trifecta weekend is back at Summit Bechtel Reserve, just outside the New River Gorge, with the Beast on Saturday, followed by a sprint, and then on Sunday, a super and a sprint. I've raced here enough times that I know the place pretty well. I also know better than to assume I know exactly what Spartan is going to do with it. Because this is one of those venues where the property itself has more influence over the race than the course map does. And that's what makes West Virginia different. This is not a ski resort with one enormous climb. It isn't a flat farm where the obstacles have to manufacture most of the difficulty. The summit is 15,000 acres of Appalachian wild terrain, forests, steep hills, open ridge lines, water, rocks, dirt roads, and enough space for Spartan to rearrange the pieces almost any way they want. Which means the first rule for this weekend is simple. Don't race the course you remember if you've run here before. Race the course they put in front of you this weekend. Getting there is pretty easy. Bechtel sits right off 77, and both Beckley and Oak Hill work well as bases for the weekend. Getting into the actual venue can sometimes be another matter. West Virginia parking has achieved almost mythical status. The summit is enormous, but access eventually funnels down through two small roads, and once several thousand racers arrive in cars, everything slows down and a remote parking lot quickly fills up. In previous years, I've arrived ridiculously early, parked close, walked to registration, turned around and seen thousands of racers arriving in cars. So the strategy for me remains simple. Arrive early because it'll pay off later, especially when later means finishing a beast and discovering your vehicle is less than a mile away. West Virginia makes you prove that you want to be there before the race actually starts. Once you're on the property, however, you understand why Spartan keeps coming back. The summit isn't just an event site. It's a purpose-built outdoor complex with permanent infrastructure spread across huge pieces of wilderness. This gives Spartan every opportunity to do things they can in other venues. They have enormous open area for obstacles, wooded sections, steep climbs, and water. And then there's the suspension bridge. If the course takes us across that bridge again, it remains a signature moment of the race. You come out of the woods, and suddenly the landscape opens up, and you're moving across a gorge with a lot of empty space beneath you. If you're afraid of heights, my advice remains unchanged. Just don't look down. But the real defining feature of West Virginia is the terrain. 2 years ago, my beast came in at exactly 14 miles with around 4,400 feet of climbing. I'm not predicting that for this year, but I am predicting climbing. There's always long runnable grades, steep open hills, switchbacks, and sections that were basically bushwhacking straight towards the top. That's the rhythm of this course. It's not necessarily one catastrophic climb, it's the accumulation. And that's what's important on a trifecta weekend because the beast is only Saturday. If you're racing again on Sunday, you're going to have to manage your time on the Saturday beast. Your objective is to finish Saturday with enough functioning machinery left to race twice on Sunday. That's why West Virginia rewards patience. Burn everything on an early climb, and the terrains will collect the debt later. Then there's the water. In 2024, the Beast had one of my favorite features I've ever encountered at a Spartan race, a quarter-mile legitimate lake swim. Not a dunk wall, a swim. We were in life jackets crossing a substantial section of the lake, and it completely changed the character of the race. Cold water after miles of climbing tightens everything up, and Spartan immediately followed it with more terrain and a pretty tough sandbag carry. That combination was excellent course design, and I have no idea if they'll do that again this year, But Spartan is still advertising water features for West Virginia, and this property gives them plenty of opportunity to get creative. And then there's another local population worth mentioning: yellow jackets. A couple of years ago, racers disturbed nests in multiple sections of the woods. I collected 3 stings. Other racers did considerably worse. If you have a serious allergy, this is not a funny footnote. Carry whatever medication you normally require and have a plan. This is wild property and it's part of the appeal. I've encountered insects, snakes, and everything else that comes with moving thousands of people through an Appalachian woods. We're visitors, they live here, so keep your head up. Obstacle wise, West Virginia has traditionally become increasingly serious as the race progresses. Although they distribute obstacles around the course, a lot of the heaviest work often comes concentrated towards the back. Hercoise, rope, multi-rig, walls, and spear. When those appear after several hours of climbing, they're different obstacles than they were in training. And this is where the venue gets interesting. The mountains don't replace the obstacles, it changes them. The bucket carry towards the end of the race on the side of the hill isn't particularly complicated, but after 10 to 12 miles of Appalachian climbing, it's something else entirely. The other variable is late August West Virginia weather. I've seen plenty of racers cramp here. The sky is usually pretty clear with a lot of sun. So my approach isn't sophisticated. I drink, I eat, and I keep doing that long before I think I need to, and I keep moving. A trifecta weekend is too long to start negotiating with basic maintenance. But underneath all of this is the reason that I keep coming back. The New River Gorge region gives this place a sense of place that a lot of OCR venues simply don't. The exposed sandstone and shale, the cold seams, and underneath the mountains, the gorge, the river, the forest, and the industrial history are all part of the same landscape. So you're not running on a piece of generic rented land. You're moving through southern West Virginia wilderness, and the race feels like it belongs here. That's increasingly important to me as I travel to races. I don't want just a collection of obstacles, I want a place. So that's this race recon report. I'll see you out on the course. Have fun in West Virginia.